Hello everyone, Charles Watts here, the Arsenal correspondent at Goal, joining you one day before Arsenal versus Manchester United. What a big game we have at the Emirates this Saturday. Manchester United coming in off the back of that shock defeat in midweek, losing to Sheffield United, while Arsenal going into it on the back of 5 wins from 6 in the Premier League. Apart from Manchester City, they are the in-form side in the league, but United haven't lost away in the league, I think, for about a year, so massive game for both sides. Arsenal win this one and they are right back in the mix. Results have certainly gone their way this week. Arsenal winning obviously away on Tuesday night, wasn't it? I've lost track of the days already now. And pretty much everyone else dropping points. Tottenham last night going down to Liverpool as well. Kane getting injured. Not a good night for Spurs. Arsenal now only 3 points behind Tottenham. Absolutely climbing that table, and win on Saturday against Man United and they will be firmly back in the mix for certainly top 6, maybe even top 4. So all to play for, and it's going to be a big game. I'm going to talk about that match now, look at some of the key decisions Mikel Arteta has to make ahead of that game, look at the team news, who might play where, and then a couple of other bits as well, just to get you started for the day for your Arsenal news. So let's start with Arsenal-Manchester United, and let's start with those key decisions that Mikel Arteta has to make. I mean, a lot of it depends on who is fit and who isn't, and we don't obviously know yet exactly who is going to make it. Is Kieran Tierney going to play, for example? If he's fit, there's absolutely no doubt Tierney will come straight back into the side at left back, and then that will leave Mikel with a big key decision to make at right back. Who do you go with now? Do you go with Bellerin, your vice captain, the player you pretty much always start week after week, or do you go with Cedric, who's been in very good form recently, having come into the side? I thought it was excellent at Southampton on Tuesday night in the win, playing at left back. Obviously, he was very good at right back against Newcastle last time at the Emirates. And there is certainly a strong argument to suggest that Cedric should well probably be in the starting 11 this weekend. For me, I would presume that Bellerin would start if it was a straight fight between him and Cedric for the right back spot. I imagine Mikel would go with Bellerin, but Cedric, as I said, there is a strong case. I know plenty of you guys think it as well, because I read the comments, I get all the messages I get on social media, on Twitter and everything, and I know there's a lot of support for Cedric being the first choice right back for Arsenal at the moment. So that's one of the big key decisions Mikel has to make, and then obviously he has to make the decision about who plays in the front line, because we're not expecting Orba to make it. We never know, we might get some good news. Arsenal might have got through the protocols they needed to get Orba back in the side, but even if he does, I think because he's not been around for the last week or so, not been training, I'd be surprised if he comes straight into the starting 11, especially given how Arsenal played in midweek without him. So even if he does make it and he does get past clear to play, then I imagine he probably would be on the bench for this one. But even then, I'm still kind of not expecting him to even be in the squad. I think he'll probably have to sit this one out and wait until next week to come back. And so then it's like, who plays up front? You stick with exactly what you did at Southampton. So Pepe on the left, Saka on the right, or Smith Rowe at number 10, and then Lacazette up front. Or what else do you do? Do you bring Willian into the mix? I know plenty of you would not want to see that, but it's certainly an option for Mikel Arteta. For me, I think you've got to stick with what you did at Southampton, because it worked very well. Nicolas Pepe obviously scored his goal, which will give his confidence a world of boost, a massive boost. I also thought, not just for the goal, I thought Pepe played very well. He worked really hard, really put in a shift for the team as well, and certainly sent a message to Mikel Arteta that he is ready to start and he deserves a spot in the starting 11. So for me, I would stick with what we saw with Lacazette leading the line up front. Saka, I would keep on the right, but given the way he's playing at the moment, you just don't want to move him. I think Arteta realised that and understands that. That's why he didn't do it against Southampton. You have Pepe on the left, and then Smith Rowe, as long as he's fit, you play him at number 10. If he's not fit, I think you've got to go with Willian. For me, I know plenty of you say I'll play Joe Willock instead, but I think he would go with Willian in that one, given the size of the game, the stature of the game. And I didn't think Willian did too badly when he came on against Southampton in midweek either. So I think those are the two key decisions for me, is who plays at right back and who plays it in the forward line. Obviously, there's a little bit of doubt sort of centering around Thomas Partey. He went off in midweek. Now, from what I understand from people close to Thomas Partey, he is okay. He's going to have one last check today, but all signs point to him being fit to play this weekend. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that remains the case, and the check that he has today all goes well, because Thomas Partey will be absolutely massive for Arsenal in this game. They really, really need him. You think of that battle in midfield, you think of what Fernandes can do for this United team. Someone like Thomas Partey who can win the ball back, who can make the recoveries and launch things going forward and protect against the counter as well. He would just be a huge presence in this game, and if Arsenal were without him, then there'd be a massive, massive blow. But the information that I'm getting is that everyone close to Thomas Partey thinks he's going to be okay. He has one last check to go through today, but the expectation is he will be fit to face Manchester United. Like I said, that will be a massive, massive boost, and that takes away the whole who do we play at central midfield if Partey is unavailable. So that's a massive boost for Arsenal. If we look at the team news, like I said, I've just talked about Thomas Partey there. Kieran Tierney, we're waiting for an update. We're hopefully going to get one today from the club on Tierney, whether he is going to be fit to play or not. He will be massive for Arsenal if he is. I know Cedric played very well against Southampton, but if Kieran Tierney's fit, you want him at left back all day long, and not just for what he does defensively, but what he does going forward as well. On that left foot and whipping balls in. So fingers crossed Kieran Tierney is okay. We should get an update on him today. No, I'm not expecting Dani Ceballos or Pablo Mari to be available. Dani Ceballos is slightly further forward than Pablo Mari in the recovery, but both of those look like you're going to have to sit out this game at least. I don't think certainly Mari has returned to full training yet. Ceballos has been working by himself. He's probably just been eased into group sessions again around today. But I think this game will be too early for him and Pablo Mari. I've already spoken about Orba and what will need to happen for him. If as we presume, and we've certainly, information has steered us towards, that he has been out of the country during this issue with his mother while she's been sick and he's been helping her, then there is going to be the issue then of coming back into the elite sport bubble and going through the necessary protocols, passing your... making sure there's negative tests, things like that, before he can come back in. So I just think it's all going to be a little bit too rushed to get Orba back into this one. So that will be a shame. But the good thing is Arsenal showed in midweek against Southampton, and they've showed before in the win against Chelsea at the Emirates as well, that they can win without Aubameyang now. They're not as reliant as they were on him last season, and that's a massive, massive thing for Arsenal, because they couldn't continue to be reliant on one player for goals. They had to start spreading the goals around. Now, fortunately, Lacazette's stepping up, getting his goals. Saka's scoring. Smith-Rowe's showing he can score. It's just that's a big thing for Arsenal, and so they can certainly approach tomorrow's game with a lot more confidence than they would have done last season should Orba not make it and not be in the starting 11. Little bit of transfer stuff to talk about with you now, starting with Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet, but David Ornstein over at The Athletic has put out a story now saying that West Brom wants to sign Ainsley Maitland-Niles as another top 4 club. At the time of him sending the tweet, anyway, top 4 club interested in Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and he's expecting others to come in as well. Mikel spoke about Ainsley yesterday, saying that he's had a conversation with him about his lack of game time, talking about the fact that Ainsley's now an England international and he needs to be playing minutes. Mikel kind of challenged him to prove that he's worth a place in the starting 11, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with Ainsley between now and the end of the transfer window. Only a few days to go. Obviously, personally, I don't think Arsenal will be sending out. I think if someone comes in with a decent bid for him, then that's something you've got to consider. But I think just sending him out on loan, it doesn't make too much sense to me, especially if it's to someone in and around the top 4, which is going to strengthen them and weaken Arsenal's squad. So it has to be the right deal for me if it's going to happen. And if you're getting money in, guaranteed money in, then maybe that's something that you have to consider for a player who's not getting too many minutes at the moment and clearly isn't absolutely essential to Mikel Arteta's plans. But if you're just getting him out on loan for the sake of it for a few months, I'm just not sure, because he's such a versatile player. He provides cover in so many different places in the squad that, surely Arsenal would be better served keeping him for the remainder of the season rather than sending him out on loan, especially if you're going to send him out to a rival, as I said, which doesn't make too much sense. West Brom, again, I'm not sure that's an ideal situation for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. I'm not sure he'd really be up for it either. Why go into a team that's hemorrhaging goals week in, week out, looking absolute certainties for relegation under a manager like Sam Allardyce? Just not really for me. I'm not sure why Ainsley Maitland-Niles would even consider that one. So, it's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on for Ainsley. There's only, where are we now? 29th. There's only a few days to go at the transfer window, so decisions going to have to be made pretty quickly, not just for him but for plenty of others, which we'll get to in a second. But I think Arsenal got to be really careful in their decision when it comes to Ainsley. Let me know what you guys think. Should Arsenal loan him? Is that something you could agree with, or should they just keep him, sell if they can? What do you think they should do? Send your messages in, write in the comments below, and I'll go through them and see what you guys think, because it's always good to judge the mood of the Arsenal fans for things like this. But like I said, for me, it doesn't make too much sense. Now, there is obviously plenty of other transfer stuff going on with Arsenal, not just about Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and it all mainly revolves around players leaving. As I mentioned yesterday in a couple of videos, potentially there's a chance they'll be trying to get left back in before the end of the transfer window, but I think we're getting to a stage now where that's looking more and more unlikely. If they are going to do something, it would be for the summer. But if Ainsley Maitland-Niles was to go, then that would leave him short really at potential options at left back. Only basically Cedric really, although you've got Saka, but you don't want to take him away from being in the forward line really. But there are Mustafi, Torreira, Reece Nelson. There's plenty of others. I went through yesterday on some of the stuff that Mikel had to say in his press conference about those players and about them possibly leaving. He was asked, about if players could leave. So when there's still days left in the market, there is still the possibility for things to happen. We are in close contact with all the things that can happen, and we will see. So certainly not ruling it out. I think we'll certainly see some players leave before the end of the window. It's just a matter of who. I think Reece Nelson is absolutely looking more and more certain to go. I'll be very surprised if he stays. What's the point? Because he's not getting anywhere near the team at the moment. And at his age, you want to be playing football. You want to be developing and continuing to progress. And he's not doing that at Arsenal because he's not getting a look in. And when you look at the players ahead of him now, in the pecking order, you don't really see a way into the starting 11 or even close to it for Reece Nelson at the moment. So you may as well get him on loan. So I'm pretty sure that's something that's going to be happening. Mikel on him said that's a conversation we are having with the players, and we're going to and they're not having a lot of time to play. Obviously, want to keep their development going or make a decision in the next 3 days with some of them and what the best thing is to do. We tried to be clear and transparent with what the plans are and their roles in the team, and after that we decided the best thing for the players at the club. So he's not really talking specifically about Reece, but that was an answer in reply to a question on Reece. But it kind of fits in with everyone, like I said, in terms of even potentially someone like Joe Willock, although I'd be surprised if Joe Willock went out now, but Callum Chambers as well, although Mikel has said that Callum's probably going to stay. So it's going to be interesting. A fair few things to go for Arsenal in the transfer window. Mustafi as well. There's even talk that Liverpool want Mustafi at the moment, given Liverpool's centre-back troubles. I think Matip got injured yesterday and they'll win at Spurs again. Amazing what's going on with Liverpool and their centre-backs dropping like flies this season. And even Mustafi's been mentioned as a possible for them. Socrates was as well before he went off to Olympiacos. And I think with Mustafi, Mikel basically admitted yesterday again that there are some sort of discussions going on about maybe ending his contract early to let him get out and Arsenal get his wages off the wage bill between now and the end of the season. It'd be interesting to see if that comes to fruition or if someone does come in with a late loan move for Mustafi, which will take him off the books till the end of the season anyway. So conversations there. Again, Mikel saying he's another situation at the moment that is opening, and we are having conversations internally with the player and his agent. We'll see what the right solution is for this one as well. We are monitoring the situation. I cannot say much more than that. We have conversations ongoing and we'll see what the best decision is at the end of the transfer window. So certainly one to keep an eye on there with Shotran Mustafi. Certainly Reece Nelson as well, potentially Ainsley Maitland-Niles. So busy times at Arsenal as we approach the end of the transfer window. Not so much for incomings, which I know is the thing that excites you guys the most, but I think you've got to look at Arsenal's transfer window this January and think it's been pretty successful, even though the only arrival is Martin Odegaard. When you think they've got Mesut Ozil out, which they desperately wanted to do, they've got Kolasinac out, they've got Socrates out, there's a chance they'll get Mustafi out. These are players, and William Saliba, they've got him off to a club to progress, which they wanted to do as well. So in terms of most of the boxes for the transfer window this month, and Matt Ryan as well coming in and strengthening the goalkeeping department. So like I said, in terms of those boxes for all that you wanted ticked for the transfer window this month, I think Arsenal have ticked an awful lot of them, and they can be very, very happy with the work that they have done in the window. Finally, before I go, predicted 11 time. Now, not easy, and I'm doing this before Arsenal put out their team news update, so we'll have to wait and see, but I'm going to presume Kieran Tierney is going to be okay for this one. But by the time you're watching this video, Arsenal might have put a team news update out, and they might have ruled Kieran Tierney out of action. Hopefully they haven't, but I'm going to presume he's okay. So my 11 for this one against Manchester United on Saturday: Bernd Leno obviously in goal. I'm going to go with Bellerin, Holding, Louise, Tierney as the back four, Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka as the midfield pairing, protecting the back four, and then the front four is going to be Bukayo Saka on the right, Emile Smith-Rowe at number 10, Nicolas Pepe on the left, and Alexander Lacazette up front. So I'm not expecting Aubameyang to play, and Martin Odegaard, I'm not expecting him to come straight into the starting 11. If he is going to be involved, I expect him to be on the bench, and possibly we'll see him make his debut for the final half an hour, 25 minutes, something like that. So I'll run through that quickly again for you. Leno, Bellerin, Holding, Louise, Tierney, Xhaka, Partey, Saka, Smith-Rowe, Pepe and Lacazette. That is my predicted 11 for Arsenal versus Manchester United. Thanks for watching today's video. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I hope you have a good one. And yeah, join you tomorrow from the Emirates. I will be there as usual. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do a live broadcast before the game tomorrow. I will try if possible, but I've got a couple of other things I need to do before the match for Goals. So please do head over to the Goals Instagram account, actually, just after the team news has broken, because I'll be doing a live Instagram from Goals Instagram account on that for you guys to get involved with if you want. Enjoy your days. Enjoy your day, as I said, everyone. Please do join me from the Emirates tomorrow. Check out goal.com for all your Arsenal news, and head over to find me on Twitter at Charles_Watts for all your Arsenal news as well. Thanks, everyone. Speak to you soon.